Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dragox55 here, and some people might be wondering why are they looking at 5D's Decade Duels. Well, there are some decks that I haven't ever showed off in this, and I figured I'll do a little montage of the decks that I haven't shown off, you know, as a little treat to you guys, because as you guys are actually really great. So, anyways, so these are the decks that I never bothered to show off on YouTube. Enjoy. Okay, now this is my Dark Infernity deck. Basically what it is that I made Infernities and then it didn't work out too well. So the next thing I could make out of it that would work really good was to fuse them with Dark Worlds, and basically that's what I did here because they work out really good. They use the power of Dark Worlds and the power of Infernities to basically spam the field and to get some really broken effects. So, yep, pretty much all I explained there. And on to the next deck, I would assume. Okay, so here we have is my Demise OTK. But instead of just an average OTK, we have the wonderfulness of a Dark Gaia theme. Not really shown off in this hand, as you can tell, because of the fact that, well, I didn't draw that great, I guess you can say. But basically, what it is my targets are all basically rock and fiend, except for Senjus, Manjus, whatever. And basically, I spam the field with Dark Gaias, Demise Kings, whatever, to win the duel and to overpower my opponent. And that's pretty much all I want to say about this deck, and we will move on to the next deck. Next up we have Haman, Crystal Beast. I did show this deck off a little bit, but, you know, it really never got any showing because of the fact, well, it's just Crystal Beast with Haman, you know. Nothing really too different, too impressive to show off here. As for every deck, I'm not going to show a full duel here, but, you know, well, I'm not going to show off full duels or anything, due to the fact that the video will take like 5 hours if I do. Not really, but who cares. Just thought I would mention that. Anyways, on to the next deck after they get done attacking here. And blowing up a card, of course. Next up we have gadgets. Basically, you summon them and then they basically get more gadgets. And then you attack for like pretty much game. There's nothing really new to say about it. I basically played like a lot of tech cards for gadgets. Reason I didn't show off it too much was because of the fact that it just never really got the chance and never really the inspiration to actually show off this because pretty good deck though. So I will catch you guys in the next deck. Okay, here is what I call the Monk deck, which basically is Master Monk or Monk Fighter or the little mouse thing, and basically they just do some shenanigans. I even put Lightsworn Monk in there because why not? And basically what their thing is that, you know, they just attack, you power them up, they just wreck field. Not really anything of a special deck that really is that great, but it is for fun and it is really pretty funny to use against random people. So yep, that's pretty much it for this deck, and we'll move on to the next deck. Next we have is Mist Valleys. Now I kind of don't remember how this deck works, but from what I'm about to do here, I'm pretty sure it does something. I don't know. But anyways, So, okay. I didn't really know that. Anyways, so the deck basically uses Thunderbird and Avian to lock down your opponent. And then I basically just wreck field with them, since my opponent can't really do anything. So, yeah. And I don't really remember how to play this deck too much, because I haven't played it in forever. But, yeah, that's Miss Valleys, guys. In the earlier stages of my Yu-Gi-Oh-ness, other than doing warrior decks and remove from play decks, was this deck, which I used on camera before, but never really talked about too much. Basically is Dark Gaia OTK using the ability of the Dark World monsters as the Dark monsters, you know. So yeah, you basically just draw a bunch of cards and then pretty much just, you know, summon up and get stuff done. On to the next deck. Next up we have my Royal Flush deck. Now for anyone that isn't aware of what Royal Flush is, it's the deck that uses the card Arcana whatever, I didn't read it. And basically you use one King Knight, one Queen's Knight, one Jack's Knight to use his ability, if I can take a look at him, to use his ability to pretty much negate stuff and deal a lot of damage. Arcana Knight Joker. So yep, that's pretty much it for this deck. If you really want to see what else I can do with it, then that's something there. So yeah, catch you guys in the next video, or not video, next deck. Here's a little interesting deck that I did too. Well, I wanted to use it on Bruce, but you know, it's whatever. So basically what it is it's a deck of chain material and fusion gate. Basically what you do is you make this wonderful card here. Where is it hiding? Here it is. You make Super Vehicleoid, Stealth Union, and it pretty much can't get negated, it can't be destroyed because of, oh, it's not Fusion Gate, it's another spell card that I use for it. And basically you use those two, it can't be destroyed, can't be negated, so you can use Skill Drain and run this deck too. And pretty much it just like wrecks field, so use stuff like Magical Merchant and whatever else is in here to basically get chain material, and I think it's I don't remember what the spell card is. Oh look, chain material. So yeah, it's basically you get the cards and then you basically can win it from there, or you just don't get the cards and you pretty much have a tough time winning from there. Either way, it's a fun deck. It didn't really get to be showed because, I don't know, it just was on the list to be showed, but, you know, things happen. Okay guys, we're back again, and this is my Demise Zero deck. Now, I really drew a bad hand to start off with here, but basically what the point of the deck is to make Demise Zero, or not Demise Zero, Demise King of Armageddon, and Absolute Zero, and wreck field. And if my opponent decides to do something about my Absolute Zero, or whatever, then I can just wreck more of stuff that my opponent has. So yeah, not really a great hand because I drew too malicious, but that's pretty much it for this deck. Moving on to the next deck. Next up is the Synchro Crazy X-Sabers, that's what it's called. And I just ended up into a burn deck duel thing with Eli, whatever. Anyways, that's not the point. It's a deck that I use. It's pretty good, pretty strong. I wanted to mess around with it a little longer before showing it off. It didn't get the chance to be shown because, you know, those other decks Millennium Duels was coming out, it was pretty much like its time was up. Also, Descola goes good with Rescue Cat. If you guys were curious why that's there. So, yep. On to the next duel. Or deck, whatever. Next up is Ojamas. I basically made a chaos version of it. It pretty much does what it needs to. It wasn't really a deck I was going to show off in general, because of the fact that it was just made for me and my friend to like mess around. We actually dueled a Dark World deck with 2 Ojamas. We dueled a tag team Dark World deck with Ojamas, and it was the most hilarious thing ever because they couldn't get over Snipe Hunter, which got its attack and defense flipped over. So, you know, a whole bunch of shenanigans, whole bunch of funny stuff to happen. And basically what it is we either get like the fusions out, dealt the hurricane stuff, or even just synchro up because, you know, they can be targeted with junk synchrons and run out. And we can crash them in there with honest, whatever, or when their attack and defense get changed. You know what I mean. On to the next duel. Now it's the Arcana of the World deck. Of course, this burn deck is gonna probably wreck me a new one, but anyways, basically what this deck is it uses Arcana Force, I believe that's 21, the World, to basically make it so my opponent never gets a turn. And basically, I bring out 2 DD Scouts, and I just send them to the grave so my opponent doesn't get a turn. And I use Strike Ninja to keep banishing the DD Scout planes so that they can be summoned to let Arcana Force keep doing the effect. It's a little loop, and I can just keep drawing. My opponent pretty much, what is it? They can't draw either. Yeah, they don't get a draw. You get to draw all the cards. You could sit here doing Exodia if you felt like it. But either way, it's a fun deck and something you guys should try out if you get the chance, to be honest. Next duel. Next is some more Archfiends. Basically have like Blast Sphere, Darth Morgan, whatever. A little creation I made when I had nothing better to do. And basically I was going to show it off. I know Bruce made his Archfiend deck as well. But, you know, this is something that I just really wanted to make because it's pretty fun to use. And yeah, on to the next duel, I believe, because pretty much all this is a Darkened Wind deck, and I pretty much get out a bunch of monsters and wreck field. So yeah, catch you guys later. Alright, and the next deck, not later. Next up is Dark Worlds. Now, mine is a skill drain variant. Pretty much, that's what I wanted it to be. So I ran into some Doom Calibers and whatever. Works good against computers. Not really good against actual players though. But it is a pretty heavy drawing deck for this time and age. So, yep. Pretty much Dark Worlds. Skill drain Dark Worlds. Next, Flamvels. Pretty much one of my most entertaining decks that I would say. Well, there are a lot of entertaining decks but this one is more competitive and it's still entertaining to me to this day. Now, I do have a really good version built of this, but I still love this version nonetheless because I used Flamvels before, like, I used Flamvels a long time ago in Dueling Network and it worked out really good. It's really fun, and I still have a version on, I don't know why I didn't use Heavy Storm here, but let's do it anyways. But I used them a long time ago on Dueling Network, and I still love the deck to this day, and I still have a deck built of Flamvels on Millennium Duels. There it is. That's what I was thinking of. So yeah. Anyways, on to the last deck that I have yet to show you guys. Alright, Now for the last deck of them all. I know it's not Kokomiru. It is in fact Dark Stun. Dark Stun is a little interesting thing that I came up with a while back on DevPro. I figured, what if... Why can't... Oh, trap stun. Okay. What if I can combine two decks together to make a very ultimate kind of deck? And it came to mind. I decided to make Rock Stun with Dark Worlds. And that's how Dark Stun is made today, and it is really fun to use. Probably one of the other funner decks that I like to use, because it does a lot of damage. It can negate your opponent's stuff really good. It shuts down the Stardust, whatever. And then even if your cards get sent to the grave, you can just Dark Calling and Synchro or Fusion them all together. I know I probably said like Synchro 5,000 times instead of Fusion, but whatever. You guys get the point. And it pretty much does this job, and I'm just gonna hold the out here. But anyways, yeah, it just does that. It gets everything I need. And yep. Now there is one more thing I'm gonna show off, guys, and I will be right back to show that off. Other few decks that I made was Uriah, which I use Reasoning to dump a bunch of traps in the graveyard and boost up Uriah to Tiki things. Other than that, there was BS, which I used. Never really got the hang of it. That wasn't really that great of a deck to begin with, and it just didn't work in my favor. It was just much better being a machine deck, but you know, maybe we can do something about that in Millennium Duels. And some more dragons. Basically, I use like Waverns, of course, and I use Dark Horse because I didn't have Blue Eyes, so my next bet was to use these two. And it worked really good, actually. So to finish off this video, I'm just gonna scroll over the decks for a little bit, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it off here, guys, because these are some really good decks that I just really never got to show you guys. In my opinion, they're really good, so don't really judge me. Yeah, and then just random side deck stuff. There's the Yubel deck that I showed off, so I won't scroll through that. There's Evil Frog, still one of my most favorite decks. Too bad it doesn't really work on Decade Duels, or doing that Millennium Duels. The ninjas, you know, because I made those before. They might make a comeback. Demise OTK, the random stuff. I had the Demises, Masterpiece, whatever. So, yeah, that's enough from me, guys. I'm going to let you guys have the rest of this video to just look at these. Alright, catch you guys later. Alright, one final note. If you guys want me to rebuild any of these decks on Yugioh Millennium Duels, leave me a comment in the section down below. Tell me what you thought of this. Did you think this was just a big waste of time? Did you actually enjoy some of these? And maybe it's inspired you to build some other deck on Millennium Duels. Either way, I will catch you guys later. This won't be the last time you see 5Ds, but it won't involve dueling, it'll involve another series. Don't worry, you'll know in good time. Catch you guys later.